all, Cynthia here, back with a 8.5 by 11 layout, and this one is still using my January kit from the Wild Hare kits. So I've just taken this Paige Evans paper here that I did initially cut out the hexagons from, and now I'm going to use the same paper to back this photo. Initially have the photo here, as you can see, in a 6 by 4 or 4 by 6. That's probably the way you would say that. But you'll see that as the page goes along, I do trim that down to more like a 4 by 4 size photo. So I've taken the paper here. This is from, I think it's a Dear Lizzie paper, and I'm cutting out some of the word strips. So I initially have these 3 word strips, but as the page develops and evolves, I come back and I cut a few more out. I absolutely love this paper. So this is a Vicky Bouton paper, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I thought about using the whole thing as a background, but I must admit I just want to save it for a few more pages yet. So I just cut off a strip, and I'm going to get out the border punch here. So this is I think they're American Craft, are they? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's a knockout punch. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's definitely American Craft. So you can knock out the actual pattern in the middle of it and swap it out. So I have that punch, and I've probably got, I don't know, half a dozen or so punches that go with it. But this one and probably one other are the 2 main ones that I use. So I'm just going to use that border. I come back in again in a moment, and I trim that down a little bit. I find it's a little bit thick. But here you go. This is where I'm deciding that I want to make this photo a little bit smaller. So just turn it up there so that all this tape that I put on the back doesn't stick to my actual trimmer. And I put it down, decide that I want to flip that around here in a minute. So the missing bit is on the left-hand side. I will probably manage to hide that, and that was my plan, to tuck it under, but I don't quite do that. So the little bit here that I trimmed off where I did the border, I'm actually going to run that strip down the right-hand side as well, so I'm going to repeat that element. Now I'm just going through the die cut pack to see what I can use. So this is a Heidi Swap die pack cut, or ephemera, and I'm just going to see what I can use. I don't think I really use much. I use a couple of the acrylic pieces, and that's about it. Here we go. This is where I've decided that I want to go back to the cut apart here, the word strips, and I'm going to cut out. I want to repeat a couple of those colours. So I repeat that yellow, and I think I repeat the light pink. So I go back in to see what else is light pink that I can use. That's after I just trim down this strip a little bit. Just mixing it up. The Peace and Love and this Wild and Free were pretty much exactly the same width, so I just tried to trim a little extra off the Wild and Free, so it's slightly smaller, so they're all 3 are different sizes. Here we go. I'm going back in, having a read to see which one I can pull out that is the same colour. I'm pretty sure I go with the same colour as that pink is. And I must have come up with stay be positive. It must have been what I decided to put down. Yep, that's it. So I trim that down, and I'm just going to sit that down the bottom there. Liking the way it comes together, way it is coming together, I should say. You saw me flip that little piece around a minute ago. That's because I wanted to swap the colours out. So that thin strip is cut off this piece here. So where it has green up the top, I wanted to make the thin strip be green down the bottom. So it just sort of repeats those colours but mixes it up, and so flips it from the top to bottom. Now I'm just going to stick down these pieces, deciding whether I want that photo to line up directly with the Dream Big or whether to have it slightly in again, and as you can see I went with slightly in again. Just grabbing out the fine line bottle and going to put some dots down this so I can help glue it down. And there we go, I just stick that there. Oh, moved it accidentally. And now I'm just going to continue on gluing down my strips. Going to butt those up to the edge, exactly the same as what I've done on the top left. So once again trying to repeat the elements or the layouts. So I wasn't too sure what I was saying, I just got interrupted. So I was saying I have these two acetate pieces here, Seize the Day and Shine Forever. And what I do with the acetate pieces, if they're going to sit on colour and not stand out so much, I try to back them on white. So that is not the way I'm going to leave it looking. I will, it was just to give me an idea whether I liked it in that spot. So I'm running through the Zoron label maker to put some stick on the back, and then I'm going to peel them up and I'm going to re-stick this Seize the Day down, and then I'll get the scissors and I'll trim it around a lot closer than what I did. I don't make you watch me do all that. So I just got the scissors and I'll trim around. And once I have all three pieces trimmed up, I'll know whether or not I like it, and as it happens, I don't think it ends up staying on the page. So there we go, just trimming up that day. I'll just put it back in my stash. I will use it on something else. So I thought I might put that there, Seize the Day, but as I said, it doesn't end up staying. I do mix it up a little bit. Stick that down, and now I'm going to go through and see what I can use. I think I pull some stuff out of my stash here. I go into my stash in a moment and grab some bits and pieces to finish the embellishment. I think I go through, if I remember correctly, do I go through? I thought about using some of these word strips. There's a couple that I thought might work, but once I sat them on the actual page, because I had so many big words, they were just getting lost. So I've already used a couple of those on a traveller's notebook, so you'll see those coming up at some point. This is where I bring out my stash, so I store my ephemera pieces or die cut pieces all by colour. So I go through here and pull out a couple of different pieces. I go through this one and I also go through pink, I believe. So just flip through to see what I can see. I know that I'm looking for maybe some roundish looking elements to go on the page, something just to break up all the boxiness. So I go through looking for something like that, and I know I have a particular flower in here somewhere, and I've just got to find it. So I think I'll go back through in a moment after checking out some of these smaller pieces, what will and won't work. Thought about that. Nope, don't like that either. And going back through, there it is. That's the one I thought was in there somewhere. So just flip through that, pull out another couple of things that I thought round pieces that might work, but didn't like any of those. Pack everything else away. And then I do the same with the pink. I pull out the pink to see what I can grab out of that, and I use those two bits pretty much there as they are. Does mean I have to pull up my title again, and I go through and grab out a couple of other little things and use those as well. Thought I would use that word banner there, but I don't in the end, so that there's enough words on the page as it is. Love these feathers. I know there's a couple of feathers in the pack. So as always, just going through, seeing what I think might work and trying it out on the page. So the photo here is of my husband and our granddaughter. We all met up at a big park, and we took her, when it was time for her to have a nap, we walked her around in the stroller while she cried and carried on for probably a good half hour before she finally crashed and went to sleep. So we got there in the end, or should I say Poppy got there in the end. He just kept walking and just slowly talked to her, and in the end she couldn't resist any longer and ended up going to sleep. It was a gorgeous day. So this is up some salmon ponds. So there's lots of ponds around. They have all different types of salmon and trout and other fish in the ponds you can go along and feed. It was a really lovely day. It was a beautiful sunny day. So that was nice. There we go. Just doing the last of it now. I do a tiny little bit of journaling up on along the strip there on the right hand side. I do my journaling butting up against that. Just what I was saying, that Poppy took her for a walk and the battle was on who was going to win, and yes, fortunately she did go to sleep in the end and Poppy won the day. And that is pretty much it. So I'll leave all the details for the wild hare kits below in the description box. So if you want to jump on down and have a look at that, you jump on over to their page and check out all the goodness they have. You can buy a couple of different size kits. And this is coming to the end of it basically. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the process. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I love reading all your comments. Some close-up photos here. And until next time, everyone have a lovely day, a lovely week, or a lovely month. And I will catch you on the next video. Until then, bye.